Yes, good morning everybody and welcome back to Forever United TV. 5th of August, and this morning's show is going to be a blockbuster, jam-packed with tons of news. I think it's going to be a big day. It's going to be a reaction day because last night there was a bomb dropped, and it was dropped by Newcastle with a mega bid, an improved bid on Benjamin Sesko. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Ganacho and what Romano said. We're going to talk about Antony's situation as well. Midfield situation that Laurie Whitwell was talking about also, and what Manchester United might do in the latter stages of this window also. But like I said, there is only one place to start with what happened last night, and it is a worrying sign for Manchester United that Newcastle, with all of their financial power and clout, have really put their foot firmly down on the accelerator pedal with Benjamin Sesko and RB Leipzig on this one. The night started off, and I'll go through the night as well in a minute and everything as it broke down. But as you can see, yes, we are live. Not kind of live. We're in a premiere because right now I am forcing the issue. I am not determined to make something happen in this transfer window. I think we might get it now. I've decided to go away again because every time I go away, it makes something happen in the transfer market for Man United. I just hope that this isn't going to be a bad something to happen for Manchester United. That's the commitment that I'm bringing you right now. I'm currently in the air. I have already been through every single bit of news, and it is massive. It is now at a point where we are going to get a decision, and that decision is going to come in the next couple of days. I'm going to tell you exactly why it's going to happen in the next couple of days as well. It's because Newcastle last night, David Ornstein dropped the absolute bomb of all bombs that Newcastle have come in and bid again for Benjamin Sesko. This time the bid is, and Romano backed this up, a bid came in for at least 80 million euros, Ornstein said. Okay, so what's that? Is that with add-ons? Romano came out after it and said, no, it's not. It is 80 million euros plus 10 million euros in add-ons. It has now got to 90 million euros that Newcastle have offered officially to Leipzig for Benjamin Sesko. To break it down into pounds, that's 70 million pounds guaranteed and 9 million in add-ons. 90 million euros. Newcastle want a response from Leipzig before Wednesday. That's what has happened. Everybody from Romano to Ornstein to Fjotov to Plettenberg to everybody who has been involved in this with any significance or a reputable journalist has said that this is where we're at right now. Newcastle wants a response from Benjamin Sesko. They're pushing on the club to make Benjamin Sesko choose Newcastle. That tells me the player hasn't made his mind up. So what are we waiting for? There is zero response from Manchester United. Are we going to get something today? Is this going to be the day where Manchester United show their hand? Still nothing at all. Everybody came out straight after that Ornstein report. Where's United? Where's United? Nowhere to be seen. Still staying calm and still in control of where they're at. But then Romano came out and said that Manchester United have reassured Leipzig that they will bid for Benjamin Sesko. They are still going to put a bid in if the player wants Manchester United. And again, I'm scratching my head here right now. Newcastle know that Benjamin Sesko isn't convinced by Newcastle. Like, they've had a full day. Ornstein's report was in detail. Positive talks throughout the day Newcastle have had, and now another bid has gone in. Is that positive talks with Benjamin Sesko and his agents and convincing the player? I don't know is the answer to that, because Ornstein hasn't gone into detail with it. So I'm guessing it's the club because they've gone in and bid again. And I think they're pushing the club to get to Benjamin Sesko. That's how it looks to me. Because Laurie Whitwell of The Athletic last night on Talk of the Devils podcast said that Manchester United are actively talking with the agent on personal terms for Benjamin Sesko right now. So that doesn't seem like this is a player that is hell-bent on making a move to Newcastle. Like, has he got this burning desire, like Andy Mitten said, that he wants to move to Newcastle? Why has he not said yes? They have put the money on the table twice now. Now, Leipzig are considering this offer. Now, what happens if Leipzig say that they're accepting this offer? That's changed from everything that Romano was talking about. Now, Romano's stance on this from last night was that Benjamin Sesko has still not made his mind up. I went then to check on what Florian Plettenberg said to see from his side, Janaga Fjotov. Janaga Fjotov at the bottom of your screen there is saying that Benjamin Sesko's preferred option is Manchester United. But Manchester United are going to have to show Benjamin Sesko that they have got the money to buy him. He will go to United if United make a bid. The problem now is Newcastle are trying to outbid United to a point where Leipzig are just going to say no because there's someone bidding higher. So it's quite clear right now to me how this stands. It's Newcastle's approach to this is we're going to flex our financial muscle because we know Alexander Isak is leaving Newcastle and they're about to get 100 million plus and then bring in another player that they feel is going to be the next best thing for what's available out there right now. United have come up against a tough opponent in Newcastle. I mean, Craig Hope, the Daily Mail journalist for the North East, was the one who started it all off last night. He said that Newcastle are pushing hard tonight to get an agreement with Leipzig for Benjamin Sesko, and then this happened. Fjotov actually backed up what Craig Hope said and said that Newcastle are pushing, but then Fjotov said at the bottom there, like you can see on your screen, Sesko prefers United, but he's going to need some reassurances from United and he's going to need some convincing from the club that they want him. I think it's all coming down to if United are actually going to bid or not on this situation right now. It is getting a little bit more complicated for Manchester United to make this deal happen now. And will they be able to get the price that they want? Now, that takes me straight back to then what Romano said. And so many journalists who reported on this last night. It was absolutely crazy when you read through it bit by bit by bit. It just escalated and escalated, and every journalist has actually tried to find out some information and then get a response from United. Nothing. So United are going to bid. Are United going to match £79 million for Benjamin Sesko? This is up there with some of the biggest transfers of the summer. This is something that you didn't think Manchester United would go and do again. Like, remember the line, we're not going to buy Mbappe, we're going to find the next Mbappe. This goes against everything that Manchester United really planned on doing. Are Newcastle, in knowledge of this, bidding Manchester United out of the equation here? Because if Leipzig are considering a bid from Newcastle now, which I think is sufficient, let's be clear on this, it is more than sufficient for Benjamin Sesko. He isn't the best striker out there in Europe right now. There are other strikers that have gone for less than this, who have scored double the amount of goals that Benjamin Sesko has this season. Ekatike is the same price right now. He scored more goals than Benjamin Sesko last season. Gyökeres scored more. Osimhen scored more. There are plenty of players that got more goals than Sesko, and he is now upwards of 79 million purely because Newcastle are absolutely desperate to bring somebody in from losing out on Isak and trying to turn their transfer window around again. And United have come up against this now. This is the first time I'll have to admit that I'm slightly concerned, even though the player, and like every journalist in this has said, even Craig Hope has said, the unknown right now is Manchester United's next move because they've stayed very, very quiet. It is beyond intriguing right now where this deal is actually going. And I just think that we're in a position now where I don't think United are prepared to go. I would be shocked if United matched this bid. I would. I think that Manchester United are looking at this and going, damn. But we waited for the player. We didn't show our arm. We didn't want to get into a bidding war. Leipzig wanted a bidding war. And while giving Benjamin Sesko the time that he wants to make the right decision, they've allowed Newcastle to come forward with their bids and their money. And now we're in a position that we're in where like I said, don't feel like Manchester United can compete. I don't know if maybe we will. If we go and bid and match Newcastle, are they going to go higher? And then you're talking ridiculous amounts of money. And this is where the United fan base will come down hard. It's like, right, that's it. We're not doing this again. We're not spending this amount of money on a player that hasn't got Premier League experience. This is getting to ridiculous numbers right now. And I'll say it again, 79 million for Benjamin Sesko. Pounds sterling. That's what Newcastle have put on the table. That is absolutely ridiculous when it comes to it. But Leipzig have always said they are only going to accept a price that they feel is adequate and what they think is right for Benjamin Sesko. in just checking through the news now, I'm just going to have a quick look and nosy on through it again here, because when you break this down, when you look at it, whichever way you do, it is, for me, it's just moving away completely from what Manchester United are prepared to do. I just don't see it. Newcastle are pressing for a decision from Sesko by Wednesday. No developments from Manchester United as of now. That's from Alex Crook. Can't see United being willing to pay 79 million. I'm seeing comments like that from certain people. It is absolutely ludicrous, this bid. Still cannot believe. Oh God! Again, looking at everyone, Plettenberg's one up here. Newcastle are now offering 90 million in total in euros. Benjamin Sesko 80 plus 10 million, as revealed last night. Tuesday could be decisive. Newcastle want a decision, but Sesko has not communicated his choice yet. United are still there. Whoa. Today is going to be big. Today is going to be absolutely massive for Manchester United. It is. Are we going to finally come to the table on Benjamin Sesko? There is so much going on with United right now. Do we actually now have to sell somebody? Do we now have to get into the market and actually get to selling players so we've got a little bit extra cash? How much do we want Benjamin Sesko? Like, honestly, United are being completely priced out of the market here, I feel. I'm not confident. I'm really not. But you guys tell me in the live chat. Get talking. Get communicating. Please do get into the comment section as well on this one. I don't see how Manchester United can make this deal happen now. I really don't. I just don't know how United bring themselves to spend around about 80 million quid. 80 million quid. We're talking here. We're getting close now to record numbers for Manchester United. We're getting a little bit close to them dangerous days. I never thought I'd see a day when United spend 80 million on a player with INEOS in charge. I thought these days were over, but the striker market this summer has definitely opened up a completely different can of worms for what's happening this window. Honestly, I don't know how it got to this stage, but from what I've looked at and what I've said, I said it a moment ago, I think it just shouts out pure desperation from Newcastle's part. I don't see any other explanation for it. I really don't. They need a striker desperately. They're about to lose Isaac, and they've got plenty of money because Isaac's left. Is Benjamin Sesko worth 80 million quid? No, he's not. But have Newcastle got that much money to spend right now? Yes, they have. Do United? Nobody bleeding knows. And that is the problem right now. What do Manchester United do next? And for the life of me, I would love United to be competitive and embarrass Newcastle right now, but I actually feel like Newcastle, honestly, my gut feeling this morning is that Newcastle might have just gone that little bit too far for Manchester United, and I think they are now in front on this one. Leipzig, according to German sources as well, now are preferring Newcastle's bid. And obviously they will, because it's the only bid at Manchester United. According to Ornstein, by the way, as well in this, Manchester United's bid, or what is being voiced to Leipzig, is less than what Newcastle have bid last night. So even if United come in with this reassurance of bidding for Benjamin Sesko, if he wants to go to the club, United are still not going to be where Newcastle are with their bid. Theirs is official and is in writing and is being considered right now by RB Leipzig. It is an absolutely huge bid, and I'm worried that United cannot match it. That's where I'm at right now as a United fan. I'm waiting to see what my club can do, and maybe we will see something from Manchester United that we didn't expect. That might be the case. Anyway, we'll move past that and get into other news as well. Get into the comments and let me know what you think about that bid from Newcastle. Can you see Manchester United actually bidding up on that? Can you see Manchester United competing with Newcastle for Benjamin Sesko at 80 million? They're going to have to do 80 million. That's it. That's where we're at right now. 79 is in. Can United beat that? If Newcastle come in again past that, you're talking here now. You're getting near enough close to the Pogba and Harry Maguire sort of brackets of player. Ridiculous numbers. And if Sesko doesn't work, whoa, that is going to bury INEOS with this fan base. Where are we at? What are we doing? Let's see what happens today. It's going to be a massive one. I will be there. I will be landing very, very soon as we speak. And I'll be all over this news. I am away and I am getting a little bit of a break and trying to make something happen here in this transfer window for United. Like I said before, I hope I haven't reversed this and it ends up going the opposite way and United ends up losing on something. Here we go. Isn't for Manchester United while I'm away. That would be a bleeding disaster. But sometimes the disaster in a different way of looking at it can be the sensible decision. And a sensible decision right now would not be spending over 80 million on a player that has never played in the Premier League before. Wow, we did the video last night talking about Manchester United preparing a bid, 80 million euros, not 80 million pounds. That has gone up. Like, we are at the moment way behind what Newcastle are bidding. I don't know how we get past that. I'll be gobsmacked. I will. And like I said, like, if they want to do it, go for it. If they're wanting to back Ruben Amorim, do we spend the money elsewhere? That's going to be the question right now. I don't think Manchester United want to show their hand in case people then start to ask them for money if they go elsewhere. Say, for instance, like Larry Whitwell was talking last night as well, talking about Manchester United going for a midfielder. We clearly need an athletic midfielder. That is one of the top targets from the start of the window, Whitwell said. I don't think United are going to bid just in case they get outbid again and lose. And then everybody knows that that's the amount of money we've got. So if we go elsewhere, we're just going to get fleeced again. You have to be very, very careful. Unfortunately, United have come up against a desperate football club in Newcastle United that need a striker that are willing to go that extra mile to bring him in. And I think that is to salvage what has happened at that club this summer that nobody expected to happen. So, yeah, it is a minefield, this situation right now. But maybe United looking at a midfielder like Whitwell said, and they're just being careful right now with what they do because they don't want people to know that they are ready to spend 80 million on Sesko. If they lose Sesko at that point, everyone knows the money that United have got to spend and they are done for. And again, I think there's a lot more to this that worries Manchester United now. They still haven't got a yes or a no from Sesko. And like Romano said, United will bid if Sesko says he wants them. Sesko right now may be looking at this and going, well, United couldn't bid 80 million for me. Again, that I don't think United are going to reassure him with. I'm just saying what everybody else is thinking. And I know without even looking at the chat right now, they're all going, United are not bidding 80 million. United are not bidding 80 million. Have we just been outbid completely by Newcastle? Comment below. Can United raise money by selling players and then going in and spending all of that on Benjamin Sesko, along with the other money that we've got that we were supposedly about to bid and use? Yeah, if they wanted to. Ganacho could be one of them. Now, Romano has come out in detail and said that Manchester United's Ganacho has turned down Saudi, Spanish, Italian and German clubs and only wants to move to Chelsea. Priority number one is Chelsea. Now, Ganacho is in a position here where he is now actually accelerated personal terms and talks. This is now far down the line. Last night, things really kicked into overdrive with Ganacho, and we're in a position now where he is discussing with Chelsea and are deep in discussions now on personal terms, and it is close to being completed. And at that point, Manchester United will expect an offer from Chelsea. Until then personal terms are agreed, though, in principle, we're not going to get anything. But, like I said, last night, a lot of the reports, including Fabrizio Romano's, were that this is now very close. Chelsea fully convinced by the player. Ganacho giving full commitment to Chelsea. They are going for Xavi Simons and Ganacho 100% guaranteed and are confident of getting both. With what Chelsea have done this window, I would be confident in getting both as well if I was a Chelsea fan or someone working at Chelsea, for instance. They are spending their money and they are spending it in a big way. Garnacho's part of it, but how much of that money is going on Ganacho? That's the worry with most of the Man United fan base right now. I can guarantee it. you're looking at a situation here where Manchester United are expecting a bid. Is it going to be reasonable enough? I don't think Man United come to the table unless we're getting something in the region of 40 million. That's got to be the baseline. United will come to the table and negotiations will start. I think that's where United are at. If we don't get that, then it's a rejection instantly. And Ganacho is stuck. And then we'll start the to-in and fro-in. And it's going to be a stressful end to the transfer window. Because it's not only Ganacho that we've got a problem with right now. We've also got Antony, who's standing his ground and has said himself, according to Spanish reports, he only wants Betis. Now, again, Spanish reports only. Spain, Betis, you get where I'm going with that one. Anyway, Betis apparently are going to wait until the last day of the window. They are not bothered. They will wait it out. They're not prepared to pay Manchester United's valuation of 40 million euros for Antony. They're not going to do it. They want a loan and they can't afford to pay Antony's wages. They want United to pay them as well and get the loan. United have got a decision to make. They've got some big decisions coming up with these players, Ganacho and Antony in particular. Like we said with Jadon Sancho with Dortmund, it looks like we might have to loan Jadon Sancho with a loan fee and then lose him for nothing at the end of the season now. There's no bids for Malacia, and Ganacho is prioritising Chelsea, who we know are going to come in and lowball Manchester United. And we've got a decision to make there as well. Are we going to cut cloth according and say goodbye? Or are we going to stand firm and hold our ground and say to Chelsea and Real Betis, they're staying? That's it. There's no way that you're getting these players unless you bid what we want. Let's see what develops with Ganacho. But Antony is a concern because Betis feel like they are going to get him on loan. I would be telling Real Betis right now, if I'm Manchester United, it's not going to happen. I would be telling Antony and saying, look, you may think that going to the end of the window is going to get you the deal that you want. I would love it if Manchester United stood the ground with both of them and neither left. But I know we need the money. I know we need to improve this team. And do I want Manchester United to have them two players still in the squad this summer and going into the start of the new season? No, I don't. I don't want them anywhere near our football club. I'm probably being a bit harsh on Antony there because he hasn't been as bad as Ganacho and has caused as much of an issue as Ganacho has. But still, like, come on right now. Like, we have to be able to get at least some form of fee for both Antony and Ganacho. Ganacho in particular, I think, is going to be the interesting one. He has got value in him. If Madueke goes for 52 million, I'm sorry, Ganacho is at least a 45 to 50 million pound player. I'm not having that he isn't worth that. And Chelsea need to recognise that. I think United will stand their ground with Chelsea. I don't think they're for budging at all. And again, I think Forte will get the ball rolling and United will try and bid that up. And let's see what we can get. Pure profit. I think United will put in clauses, will put sell-on clauses in to Garnacho's contract as well. He's young and obviously has got masses and masses of potential. So, obviously, if he does leave Chelsea to bigger things, United will cash in then. I think United will be very aware that they may not get what they want fully straight away for Ganacho, but they could easily get what they want in time for Ganacho. So, that, I think, is also really important when it comes to what's happening with this deal for United. Could they take a lower price and then get more later down the line? With Antony's offer that's on the table from Betis, there is apparently an obligation for them to buy him next season. But is what price? United need money now and next season. Obviously, he's in the new financial year. So they're not going to make anything for this financial year, which then impacts, yes, you guessed it, a Benjamin Sesko potential buy as well. With the money that United are going to have to put down on Benjamin Sesko right now and the situation where it is, United need money this year and this financial year to cover this. And again, that takes me straight back to the top of the show and what we talked about with Sesko. And of course, keep your comments coming in on all three of these top stories that were going on last night. I just don't know if Manchester United are willing to spend it, even if they've got it. You get what I mean? I don't know if INEOS would be the type of ownership to go out and spend 80 million quid on a striker. We have done this before and epically failed with this before. Now, Sesko is young. How much is this kid worth going forward? Now, Manchester United, for instance, when you look at it and you go, right, it sounds ludicrous. But if United go to Leipzig and say, look, there's 80 million, the player wants us, we want to stretch this deal out over 5 years. We're not paying this much money all in the space of 3 years. If United can spread out 80 million and get a reasonable deal for Benjamin Sesko with his wages, then they can still afford this. People will drive the 80 million factor and go with that. But don't forget what I always tell you as well. When it comes to finances and Manchester United, it's not about how much the player actually is. It's about the structure of the deal. If it's 5 years worth of payments for Benjamin Sesko, you split that 80 million up. Well, let's not forget, it's probably going to be around about 70 million that United are going to have to pay instalments for. The rest in add-ons, well, there you go. It's if he makes them add-ons, doesn't it? So work with 70 million and split that up into 5 years. And that's what you're looking at with Benjamin Sesko. You start to look at the £18 million a year sort of territory. Then you add the wages onto that. So you're probably talking then up to around about 25 million a year for Benjamin Sesko, who's 22. That's how United make this deal happen. Are they prepared to go that far? Are Leipzig happy to let United spread the cost of them payments out over that many years? Because if it comes down by a year, just to 4 years, you're then talking probably with wages and instalments upwards of near 30 million a season for United. And then you will have to be getting back into the Champions League. Is it worth spending the money on a player that hasn't played in the Premier League? Is he going to get you back up to the Champions League? Could you go out, still score more goals than what you did last season with what you've bought in Mbumo and Cunha? Could you go out and use that money to get an absolute baller of a midfielder if you don't get Benjamin Sesko? Yes, you could. You more than could. So that's the question I'm asking at the end of this show right now. Should United walk away from Sesko and spend that money elsewhere? That official bid is in from Newcastle. It's up to them if they now take that. That's Leipzig. But they are considering it. It's not going to get any lower than that right now for Sesko. Is he worth 80 million in total? That's 70 million down. Is he worth more than that? That's the question I'm asking. Get into the chat. Please tell me, everybody. Get involved in the comment section. Thank you very much for being with me on this premiere. I am just about to land, probably. And I will be looking over all of the news as soon as I get in to Ibiza. Yes, I'm going to Ibiza. That's Ibiza with an F because of Mancunian, and the F stands for FU if you think I should be saying it any other way. I'm not going to start calling it Ibiza. You're not going to get that. It's Ibiza. That's where I'm going. That's where I'm at when I'm going to be talking to you next. And let's see if the news has changed. Well, a bit in the air. Good God. This is more than a roller coaster of a transfer saga, this one. It is starting to get even more intense. It's escalating quickly. People, please do hit the like button on the video. Make sure that you do hit the subscribe button also alongside it. We are moving fast. We have got that target. 95k is in our sights right now. We should be getting that before we start the season. The target before that was 90k before the start of the season. To be 5k over it and pushing for the 100k mark before we even got to the first game of the season is mental. Massive thank you to you all once again. Please do get involved in the comments. That's all I want from you. And I'll see you when I get the next update in sunnier climes and maybe with a bit more of a positive update. Let's see. But tell me, should we be spending 80 million on Sesko? Wow.